I already told you, I'm going for a walk. It's not every day you get to make a single decision that could alter the course of history. So you'll forgive me if I take my time making it. Well, yes, we most certainly have made that kind of impact already, but killing Caesar was a no-brainer. It was a choice between a dystopian slave state against, something that won't be anywhere close to that. But the choice I'm faced with right now is not that simple. Love him or hate him, House really did save the city. Without him, we would be standing in a radioactive crater right now. Yes, we could debate whether what he did afterwards was justified. Yes, we can also debate whether his vision for the future is a good one. But we can't deny that he deserves something for his troubles. Perhaps he could be appointed governor of the Mojave if Vegas joins the NCR? I mean, he wouldn't like it, sure, but it's not a bad compromise. But that's not what the good colonel is offering right now, is it? She's taking it all the way up to 11. Is this a side interest into Freeside? I don't recognize it. Oh, is this where the king is hiding his secret stash of pre-war hair products? Nope, just another slum. But yeah, if I risked my life to save a settlement only for some outsiders to later come waltzing in and demanding my death just because I won't play ball, I would be pretty pissed too. Okay, where the hell are we? Doesn't feel like Freeside.
One of these days, Red Lucy's gonna show off her death claws.
Oh, is this part of West Side? Well, it looks like a shithole, so it could be. I'll admit, that's not specific enough. Yeah, House really has his work cut out if he wants to sort this place out, and he has no excuse. He won't have the entire West Coast to look after like the NCR does.
Hello.
You look way too jolly considering where you live.
Can I help you with something, stranger?
Not really. If anything, I'm gonna guess you need my help with something. Yeah, I have a sixth sense when it comes to shit like that these days. But let's take this one step at a time. I'm assuming you're someone significant around here?
Name's Crandon, stranger. I keep an eye out for trouble around here.
Ah, so that would make you the sheriff slash mayor slash whatever the hell you want to call yourself because you have the biggest gun. So what do you consider to be trouble around here? Judging by the state of this place, I can only assume your bar is pretty damn high.
Folks that don't belong. Murderers, rapists, extortionists, and everything in between. You know, business as usual in North Vegas, stranger.
AKA business as usual in most parts of the wasteland. I guess NCR territories would be rare exceptions, but something tells me accepting their order is not a tantalizing prospect for you. I'm noticing a pattern here.
NCR, did you just crawl out from under a rock? Those folks only care about their business, their people, and their pockets. NCR's order? Don't make me laugh, stranger. We work this land, we own these streets, and we yank up the bad weeds ourselves. Got it?
Like your father and his father before him, right? Yeah, you can save it. I've heard it all before. You would rather turn into human raisins on your own terms, as long as you get to keep your home.
We've been here for a few years, just looking for a place we can call our own. Life's harsh, but still, it beats the hell out of the desert. We've got numbers, we've got food, and we've got trade. That's progress, stranger.
Wait a minute, a few years? You're new here too! The NCR's been here for 4 years now, what makes you so special? And I should point out, having a decent-sized population is a double-edged sword. Now you've got a higher crime rate to deal with. Anyway, you got anything interesting in this town? Westside had a beast fighting arena and a hotel with special amenities. What can I do around here?
Keep your nose to the ground, stranger, that's what. Mind your own business and let us mind our own. Are we clear? If you got a mind to loot the old H&H Tools factory, don't even bother. That place is sealed tighter than a rad scorpion's bunghole. Every salvager who tries gets blown up, flattened, or gutted by traps. Then he starts to stink up the town, and we're the ones to clean up the mess.
So basically you've got nothing. Oh, and if you don't want people to go looting something, it's probably better if you don't even bring it up. Otherwise you're just inviting a challenge. Anyway, I hope you're not the only person maintaining the law around here. Westside had the fucking chupacabra. What about you?
Jules, myself, and a few others patrol the streets and sewers. Any punks come up out of the rest of the city, we give them the runoff.
I guess that's sufficient for punks. But those guys in Westside had to deal with fiends. Thank your lucky stars that you won't have to worry about them. Anyway, enough beating around the bush. This is the part where you ask me to help you out.
You want to help us out? What makes you think we want you around here, huh?
Good lord, what does your anal cavity smell like? Must be fucking hallucinogenic for you to shove your head so far up it. Look, it doesn't take a trained inspector to tell that this place is going to shit. You might be getting high off your own fumes, but can you say the same for everyone else here? If you can't keep a lid on the crimes, then how long would it be before they turn to the NCR? What happens to your precious independence then? Still feel like turning down my help now?
That's the kind of stuff I like to hear, stranger. All right, we could use someone like you.
Oh, thank God the hallucinogens haven't completely got a hold of you. You might want to pull your head out a bit more often. That can't be good for your lungs or indeed your spine. So come on then, who needs slapping and who needs whacking?
Some squatters decided to take space where they don't belong over by the playground. We'd prefer to keep them off the streets and out of sight. Maybe you could go and talk to them. Convince them to see things our way.
Okay, and where exactly do you expect them to go? They're squatters. They have to squat somewhere. And aren't they your people too? Don't tell me you're trying to establish a social hierarchy in a place like this. Oh well, if you're not going to tell me what to do, then I'll just have to improvise. You might not like that.
I like your speed, stranger. Let me know when that's done.
Oh, that's the part you like. It's all about efficiency with you, is that it? No offense, but that makes you more similar to the NCR than you probably think. I'll be right back.
Later.
Yeah, I think that completely went over his head. Seriously though, the NCR probably started out just like this. A group of people trying to survive and maintain some semblance of law and order. I assume that eventually they got sick of being one step behind all the time and decided to formalize things. Mr. Crandon might not like it, but given enough time, that's what they'll have to do here too. This must be the playground. I'm surprised they didn't scrap these things for spare parts. I don't see many children around here, and frankly, I think they get enough amusement from chasing after giant rats. Well, you don't look like children, so you must be the squatters.
What do you want?
Well, buddy, let's try to figure this out through process of elimination. There are only two reasons why someone like me would talk to someone like you. Either I'm about to give you a handout, or I'm gonna tell you to get the fuck out of here. And here's a hint. I didn't bring any spare change with me today.
Oh, really? And how you gonna make us?
Seriously? You're going that way? Well, let's see now. I'm carrying at least 3 different guns and multiple sharp objects. I've got a robot with a laser, and a cyberdog who's developing a taste for human flesh recently. Please, take your pick.
Hey, don't worry. I was just kidding. We're going, right, boys?
Yeah, when in doubt, speak a language the locals understand. It's not the most refined approach, but hey, if it works, it works. Well, come on then, out you go. I'll even escort you.
Things are getting stranger every day.
Yeah, I wouldn't normally do this, but I'm feeling generous.
Things are getting stranger every day.
Well, I'm not gonna repeat
Our
myself.
Rangers are going to show everyone what happens when we're pissed off.
Excuse me, your Rangers? They're not your Rangers unless you join the NCR. And last time I checked, that's like cancer to you people. You can't take pride in the NCR and refuse to contribute. That's not how this shit works. Maybe you do want to join, but you just don't want to say it out loud.
If there's war in the end, it won't affect our city.
Yeah, keep dreaming, pal. It's gonna affect everybody. None of us live in a vacuum. And I don't think you would like that even if it's possible. Explosive decompression is some messy shit. Yeah, keep going, guys. Out of town and don't come back. This is what eviction feels like. Even though we have a pretty large pre-war building right there, but it's our town and we make the rules here. Does it feel good knowing you're the underdog yet, Crandon?
Hey,
I don't see anything wrong with this.
have you taken care of those squatters?
They literally just walked past you. I thought you know everyone here considering how small this town is, but wow. I could have picked any random citizen and booted them out, and you wouldn't have known shit. I was merely skeptical of this place before, but hot damn, this is outright unsustainable.
That's good to hear. Can't ever be too careful with strangers around here.
Oh, so they're not locals? I honestly cannot tell the difference, and you know what? Should there even be any differences? Well, I can stand here lecturing you all day long, but I can already tell you're not gonna listen. So, anyone else I need to throw out into the desert?
Good work with those newcomers. I think you can handle more serious business with more serious rewards. There's a handful of greasers down in the sewers causing trouble. They ain't packing too much iron, but I'd like them dealt with all the same.
Dealt with, huh? Oh dear. Your lack of restrictions on the methods I should use is, shall we say, disturbing at best? Well, if this gets ugly, then I am not dragging dead bodies up a ladder, so you're gonna have to deal with that.
Glad to hear it. Let me know when they're gone.
Well, if things do get ugly, then you'll be able to hear the gunshots and screaming. I'll try to avoid adding explosions to that list, but no promises. Man, you guys should be glad that I have so much heavy shit on my mind. Otherwise, I would never have bothered with things like this. Maybe way back when I first got out of Good Springs, sure, but these days, taking out squatters and punks don't really compare against rearranging the political landscape of the entire Mojave. Yet here I am going down another sewer. Whew. Yeah, it's been a weird couple of days. Yeah, I suppose you're right. It's what makes me different from House, the NCR, and probably Caesar, come to think of it. No matter how high I go, I always make time for the little guys. That's what happened with Joanna and Westside, and here I am doing the same thing again for North Vegas. And really, when it comes down to it, this is what people remember. Someone who actually helps them out with tangible results. Even if I made a choice between House and the NCR, my efforts would still be like this, only with the occasional high-profile murder thrown in. I guess this is what happens when I ask people to spread my name all the time. Now the NCR High Command knows all about me, and they know exactly who to throw into the meat grinder. Is it too late for me to go back to being a regular courier? Well, not this way. I mean, let's be honest here. Nobody can know for sure what would happen if House was to disappear, but you can bet the good colonel wouldn't think twice about scapegoating us. Hell, she was probably waiting for someone like me for ages. What the hell are the three families gonna think about this? We're the only people who got into the Lucky 38 recently, so even with their level of intelligence, it wouldn't take long to figure out who could have done it. We'll have to skip town, that's for sure. Damn it, this wouldn't have happened if House was a little more careful. I assumed he had all this figured out. I mean, he did have 200 years to do it, but to use Securitrons as spies? You can say a lot about those things, but subtle isn't one of them. And now the NCR is onto him. For fuck's sake, this is what happens when you assume you're smarter than everyone else. Anyway, back to what we were supposed to be doing. You don't look like a greaser.
I hear the NCR and the Kings have been getting along. That's good news for Freeside.
And what's good news for you is that Crandon was not at all specific, so I get to use my own judgment. You get a free pass.
If Caesar's dead, why ain't the NCR taking care of regular folks yet?
Well, firstly, you really expect the NCR to be that quick? And secondly, you're not part of the NCR, so what the fuck are you complaining about? What about you? Are you going to cause trouble?
Going to place me a good bet at the Thorn.
So that's a maybe?
They say those robots on the strip are running around with different faces or something. Don't ask, because I don't know.
Well, I wasn't going to, so you can rest easy. And good lord, even regular people have noticed that little detail. Did House really think the NCR wouldn't? What about you, sir?
Howdy.
Got nothing else to say, huh? I'll mark that down as suspicious. But anyway, the NCR is only incompetent at things that people actually care about, but not when it might affect their bottom line. And if the politicians think the same way as the good colonel, then their bottom line is Hoover Dam and nothing else, basically. Vegas? What's that? The local residents? Who gives a shit? Small towns like Good Springs and Prim? Shove it up your backside and give it a good squeeze. No, I don't know where I'm going. I was hoping for the troublemakers to make themselves obvious, see what I did there? But we are just taking Crandon's words that these guys even exist. Why does that sound familiar? But son of a triple-eyed mutant bitch, this place is huge! I thought this was just a small town, but that was just the surface layer. There's a whole city down here. And just like that, a simple task suddenly became a lot more complicated. I'm not even sure Crandon himself realized just how complicated it would get. And why the fuck does that sound so familiar? This must be the slum part of the slum. Didn't think this place could get worse, but here we are. And holy shit, there's a child and a grandmother here? Guys, there are plenty of other unoccupied space down here.
Keep an eye on your stuff, damn thieves.
Okay, thanks for that. Yeah, we're more concerned about the hygiene.
Want to see the best of New Vegas? Our sewers got it. The Thorn.
Well, do yourself and your grandson a favor and move closer to the Thorn. You still have dirty water pulling up in this part of the sewer. It's a slow death sentence living here. Actually, I'm lying. It's definitely not just water. And that's as far as I'm gonna go with that line of inquiry. But anyway, as a general rule, nobody knows for sure what the consequences are for a task like this until it actually happens. Best case scenario, I say a few stern words and the opposition folds like paper. Worst case scenario, I start shooting like a drunk mobster until the walls are covered in bullet holes. That's a pretty fucking wide gap by anyone's metric. And we still won't know if it was the right people. This is pissing me off in so many ways. Maybe we should just evict everyone down here. That'll teach Crandall to be so vague. Of course, judging by what happened earlier, he might not even notice the difference. Hell, we could just leave right now and pretend we cleared out the greasers. I wonder how long it would take him to smell the bullshit. Not sure the same trick would work on the NCR, but then again, how would they know? They don't have access to the Lucky 38. God damn it, another dead end. To be honest, even if I do become a good little puppy for the NCR, tracking down House won't be straightforward. I mean, it's a mistake to assume he's even in the Lucky 38. Sure, he might have been at one time, but now? He could be in his own elaborate set of tunnels. I've been to the basement, he had a whole firing range down there. Oh, hang on a minute. These look like greasers to me. Of course, they could just be regular people, but that guy's got a fucking plasma rifle. There's no way anyone down here could afford that legitimately. And as we all know by now, if you start fucking around with plasma, it's only a matter of time before you become a danger to everyone else. Okay, Eddie, if this gets ugly, make sure you drop that guy first. The rest of you could just act as moral support, cause you ain't gonna do shit with those sticks.
Won't ever make enough to live outside.
Well, that's unfortunate, cause you won't be living down here for much longer either.
What the hell are you looking at, punk?
Punk? You're walking around with hair like that, and you're calling me a punk? Eddie, make sure you aim for the mohawk. I bet it's flammable. Of course, whether we take this any further will depend entirely on you. See, I've been told that you and your little gang have been causing trouble down here.
Oh yeah? Fuck off, asshole.
You know what? I feel bad stepping on someone this ignorant, so let me help you out here. The people upstairs are getting a little tired of your misdemeanors. So tired, in fact, that they hired me to come down and redecorate the sewers with your blood. Now, even if you somehow survived me, how long would it be before they come down and do it themselves?
I don't... Wait, you've got a point. Alright, fellas, let's get out of this shithole.
Wise decision, my friend. Very wise indeed. If only all of my problems could be this simple to solve. And this is where the parallels with House and the NCR ends. Yeah, there's no way that problem can end without leaving the mother of all messes. Oh.